Hello, let's talk about what it means to live with polarity. Now, the law of polarity means that there is an extreme scale of one thing to the other. Everything exists with that scale. So we cannot have hot without cold, man without woman, high without low, right without wrong, happiness without grief, for example. And this helps us to understand the human experience is simply on the volume scale of that. So it means that when we are feeling emotions that don't feel great, it's not wrong, and we're not necessarily supposed to try and do everything we can to get out of that grief or everything we can to overcome the heartache as fast as possible. It's more about understanding the depth of what that emotion actually is offering you. Now, if we find that we fall into these extreme low vibe emotions without being able to move through them easily and gradually come up the scale, there is an area that could be looked into. We'd call this a block. Now, people are aware that they have blocks in life when things aren't going to plan. They might think they have a block in their love life, or they have a block with their money flow. However, this is a way I can help you to understand that block is actually not necessarily a bad thing. It's more of an opportunity. And without the blocks, without what we would consider the contrast to what we ideally want, we actually don't get the opportunity to grow and expand and be more of our best self. And there's a lot more to it than that, but the main key message in this video is to allow you to witness that there's this volume scale of everything in life. Everything has one extreme to the other. And we often have this label of good and bad. Whereas if we can actually sit somewhere in a neutral zone of it is what it is, or acceptance, or allowance, or non-judgmentalness, then we find that we actually have a more balanced nervous system, a more equilibrium lifestyle, a more level emotional reactivity level. And this does not mean we don't find joy in things. It means that everything is seen as part of the flow of what is. And then when we get an opportunity to extreme emotions, so say we have a breakup, or say we have the loss of a loved one, and we fall into the extreme. Every time we have those extreme emotions, there is a gift within that. So for example, if we've grown up with a lot of trauma in our childhood, which is often the way because most of us have some sort of story going on in our past that allows us to mold our personality to the day. Now, when we get to a point we think, hey, I want to be more my best self, I can look at this past and I can choose to drag it with me wherever I want to go, or I can use it to leverage my greatest gift that I want to offer this world. So many people say there was an abuse situation, which is not a great thing, and I don't wish this upon anyone. It's not light and breezy. However, it's the reality of the light and darkness of the world we live in. Yet if that stems and pushes somebody into helping others and helping to activate a massive change in the world where there becomes less abuse in that particular category, then it's a wonderful leveling up, isn't it? Obviously, conversely, if that person goes down in the doldrums and ends up in a very untoward state, then they haven't picked up the lesson, the opportunity, the gift within the challenge that the universe has actually granted them. And this is a key to your happiness. This is the key to not being victim. This is one of the keys to empowerment. Self-responsibility is empowerment. And when we understand that if we can aim to accept what happens in life, understand, appreciate diversity, appreciate what is, appreciate the moments in time. And when we are pushed to one extreme or the other, to have appreciation for that too. So if you're falling in love, maybe that's easy to be appreciative. But if you're finding yourself out of love and heartache, we need to appreciate that, understand that turning point is actually an opportunity. You will either improve the relationship that you were in or that you have left, and it might come back together, or you will find something else that is better. Now, if you don't have this mindset that this is what you're going to work with, then you'll find that you'll attract more of what your mindset is, which is victimhood, right? So if you don't believe that this is something that could be of benefit to you, then you will just feel, oh, woe is me, life is so hard. But the reality is, if you take those extremities, whether they're considered negative or positive, and you use them as a point of appreciation and an opportunity to leverage your experience of life, add it to the list of adventures, then you will discover that this is how you can evolve and expand yourself on both a human and soul level, and thereby expanding the entire universe. Simply be aware of the polarities, the extremes of everything. You cannot have love without fear. You cannot have hot without cold. You cannot have cold without the burning fires. You know, we need those extremes, but ultimately that peace is where everything feels present. Thank you.